What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I have another timetable video for you guys. In this video we'll be taking a look at all the timetables that I got from the Airliners International 2023 convention in Dallas, Texas. So yeah, I did not schedule this video as part of my content from my trip to Dallas for that Airliners International convention, so I figured I'd just kind of put this together here and I'll release this sometime later on after the fact once all my content from Dallas is out. Be sure to go check out my community content playlist, which not only has my content in there but also has content from many different aviation content creators who attended the convention as well. There's over 100 videos in there to choose from, so certainly you aren't going to get bored with that playlist. So just a fair heads up, if you do go in there, you'll be binge watching that probably for quite a while. Alright, so now onto the timetables, and there is a lot to take a look at, and this is the stack that I have here, including these ones right up here as well. These are a bit interesting. I'll talk more about those in just a moment. But I did take a look at these a little bit in depth in Massive Unboxing 15, but I figured with this video I'm going to open up these timetables and kind of show you how they're all structured and everything, just kind of like my previous timetable videos. So move that stack off to the side, and I should mention as well that that stack is organized chronologically, so the oldest is on top, newest is on the bottom, so we'll go in that order. And I do have a new pointer again. I'm using the same one from that Massive Unboxing video coming over from Texan Airplane Store. The store owner who was at the Airliners International Convention was giving out free pens, stickers, and business cards and all that cool stuff. Really great guy to talk with, so I do recommend that you do buy from his store. This is not a sponsored video. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the timetables, and we'll take a look at the two timetables I threw up on the top, and this is a Southwest flight schedule from September 12th, 1999. But it's not really a flight schedule because there is nothing in here. There's only an advertisement for a new service to Hartford Springfield. Fly 4 and get one free with their Rapid Rewards thing. So yeah, it's like somebody ripped out all of the flight schedule content and just left the covers in there. But there's a cool route map on the back. You can see it right there. Feel free to pause and take a look. And then also some other stuff, just some general information. And then the second one, basically the same thing. No flight schedules are involved. So now we move on to the actual timetables. And right here we have a North Central Airlines timetable from June 1st, 1957. I had a good friend of mine, Gavin from ROC Aviation, who's on Instagram. He actually helped me find this because he was walking by the table that actually had this, brought this to my attention, and I ran over there and took a look at it. And this is the exact timetable that I needed from this era for North Central because they started flying to Sioux Falls at about this time. The summer of '57 is indicated there on the date. So we take a look on the cover here. You can see you have a wonderful lady there with the stewardess. And then inside we have the flight schedule. So take a look there and you see all of the applicable information along with a really cool advertisement. Now, 4 flights daily between Grand Forks and Omaha, serving Fargo, Watertown, Brookings, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and Norfolk, Nebraska. And then you can see how the flight schedules are laid out there. Flight number on the top, the frequency, and then they don't list the aircraft type because I think all they had were just DC-3s by this point, so it's pretty easy to make that guess. And actually, as a matter of fact, if I take a look here at the general information, yep, equipment, you'll see it right there. Douglas DC-3 aircraft are operated on all flights. They got some reservation stuff up there. Again, feel free to go back and pause at certain segments if you want to look at something in more detail. And then here is the route map in question. So you can see this is how they had it originally started with the routes. They looped up through northern Minnesota, connecting Brainerd, Bemidji, Thief River Falls, and then up to Grand Forks. And then they went south to Fargo, Watertown, Brookings, Sioux Falls. And then they also had some other communities down here, Yankton, Sioux City, and Norfolk, and Omaha. A couple of those I think they also served previously, but they were just kind of added on there with the extra routes with all the cities in the Dakotas added. So great to see them coming over to our area in the beginning of a new era for air travel in Sioux Falls. Passenger fares down there as well. And then some other stuff here, condensed schedules. Wasn't really too interesting. And on the back, you have now 18 flights daily between Chicago and Detroit, connecting South Bend, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, and Detroit. And then there's just a little flight schedule thing there, and also their postage information. So 6201 34th Avenue South, I believe that is now Delta Building C at MSP, which is really cool. So nice to see that those facilities are still being used. I would assume they've been upgraded to meet current needs for technology. And now we move on to a really nice timetable, Braniff International, system timetable effective August 1st of 1965. I picked this up because it had the really cool BAC 111 on the front there. You can see it in the El Dorado colors, just without the Braniff titles. Actually, there is some small Braniff titles on the tail. I just noticed that, so you can see it there if you look at the tail. And you see there Braniff International in alternating red and blue colors, United States, Mexico, and South America. Open up and you get a route map that kind of blows up right in your face, but you can see all the cities that they fly to there with the blue lines, and then the red lines there you see connecting airlines. So the Hawaiian Orient to the west, and then to Europe in the east. And you can see up here in Sioux Falls, for me, you can see connect to Sioux City, Minneapolis, and then go all the way down here, all the way down into Texas, and then even into Mexico and beyond. So you see there all their South American stuff all the way across. Very nice to see that information. I love to read up on this stuff. And then, go ahead and flip open here the flight schedule. There's some quick reference schedules in here, so you can see just some cities. These are mainly larger ones where they just have, you know, fly straight from big city to big city. That's kind of basically what this quick reference schedule is. And then we have the more detailed flight schedules. This is the stuff that I like to look at myself. I have taken a look at these flight schedules, and from what I've noticed, there are a couple different types that we did get in Sioux Falls. But there is a nice little advertisement on here. Get the creature comforts and calm of an intercontinental jet, even on short hops. And there you see wonderful lady there in the center, and then you see part of the BAC 111 there in the back, and just a whole bunch of text there, as you can see right there. First major U.S. airline to add the 111 fastbacks to its jet fleet, specifically designed for short hops. And then here's another, I guess this is not necessarily a quick reference schedule, but this is laid out in a format similar to the more detailed flight schedules, and then you can see all the various types in there. Jet aircraft, Electras, DC-7s, Convairs in there, pretty much everything that they had at the time. Flip this open here onto the next page, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at Sioux Falls here, but there's some more of like the Mexico City to New York stuff, southbound stuff. Here we go. This is the stuff I'm looking for. And you can see Sioux Falls up there at the top next to Minneapolis, the furthest north that they actually flew to, and then you can see some stuff there for BAC 111s up in Minneapolis, but let me look here for some stuff for Sioux Falls just to kind of quickly locate it. All right, found one flight. So it's flight 341 that I have it on, and you can see right there at about 9:11 a.m., 9:26 a.m., that kind of stuff. So yeah, pretty much we had Convairs. I think I saw DC-7 in there at one point, or DC-6, sorry. We had that stuff. We did not get the jet stuff just yet. That wouldn't come until just a little bit later. We have basically Convairs and DC-6s are all we got at the time. The jets didn't come until a little bit later. So I have to get a timetable for maybe like 66 or something to sort of complement that. Really cool advertisement on the back. Fly Braniff to New York and the World's Fair. Ask about new low-cost all-inclusive tours. Prices start as low as $19.95 plus airfare. Really cool to see that. There's someone's information on here. Someone there who originally got the timetable. I'm not going to show that just for privacy reasons. But let's go ahead and continue with the next timetable. Right back up in my alley, we have North Central Airlines, effective August 1st, 1967, now serving Toronto, and a beautiful DC-9 tail with Herman the Duck prominent on it. And because, take a new look at North Central. This is right around the time when they debuted the DC-9 jet in their fleet, and there's a whole bunch of cool stuff underneath here. You can take a look, pause to read this if you wish. It is coming soon. This is actually not debuted in this timetable yet, but they are advertising it, so it is coming very, very soon, at least from when this timetable was printed. This wouldn't come until, I think, later in 67 and towards like the fall and winter months and all that, so they would come around eventually. But in this timetable, they do have things organized a little differently, but the format is still the same, so you see all your flight numbers, the equipment, the frequency, and then all the cities in place, and then whenever there's a time listed, that's where they fly to on a specific flight. So you see there Convairs, prop jets would be the later Convairs and all that cool stuff. They still have the DC-3 here, but they're not really as prominent anymore because they are getting kind of antiquated by this point, so you have the bigger aircraft coming into play and all that cool stuff. So let me just take a look for Sioux Falls here. I'll show you one of the flights that we got at the time because that's what I like to do around here. And here is Sioux Falls in question, so you see right there, looking at the column, that's 785, I think. You see there, that's a DC-3, another DC-3, and another DC-3. So they were still very prominent in our area. We were not cool enough yet to get the Convairs and the prop jets, so that wouldn't come around until just a little bit later, later into the 60s. You see some more cool stuff, and then underneath here, you got some cool air travel cards. These are actually very early credit cards. This is really cool. I did not notice this when I looked through here. Complete listing to the summer service of the resort areas. And then some more stuff here. Discover America. Now 15 flights daily between Grand Rapids and Detroit, Michigan. And then some other timetables there. Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Canada. Quick reference schedules on that page. And then you see there's some air freight stuff. And then here's their general information page. Equipment, which is all listed there. The prop jet, which are the Convair 580, so yeah, I was right. They do list Convair 440s in here, so that's what they were. Always, you know, like the 340s and stuff. That's what I read it as originally. And then we have some hand-drawn information with time zones on this particular timetable. So you can see there, you have Mountain Daylight Time over here in the western part of the Dakotas, Central Daylight Time, which is in our area, and then we have Eastern Standard Time up in like this little circle here. So I'm not sure what happened up there with the Daylight Savings Time, and then Eastern Daylight Time in all these areas. And then you can see whoever previously owned this timetable circled everything in Michigan, so you see all the places there. So this must have been maybe just someone's like diary or something, like a flight diary in a way, where they circled all the places that they flew to or whatever. This is really, really fascinating. So I'm going to go ahead and show the drawings here in question. So if you are the person who originally owned this timetable, if you do recognize your handwriting, please let me know, and I'd be happy to hear about your reasoning for scribbling on this, this is really cool, actually. Don't get me wrong on this. This is very, very cool. It's kind of like a fossil. It's like finding fossils there underground. It's just kind of like a cool track record of who owned the timetable and all that cool stuff. So, moving into some new territory here for timetables, we have an Allegheny timetable from January 15th, 1970. Now, 6 new non-stop fan jets between Indianapolis and New York LaGuardia. Fly a winner. And there you can see the beautiful Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the background, home of the Indianapolis 500, an annual event that takes place on Memorial Weekend in May. Allegheny Jet Custom Class Service, more for your money. On Allegheny fan jets, you get Jet Custom Class Service at comparable jet coach fares. And then you see that new Jet Custom Class Service between Indy and New York. Allegheny Air System, we have a lot more going for you. The paper on this is much thicker. It's much more firm than all the other ones that I've looked at so far. So you can see here some passenger information, and then you have the different key there for the different aircraft types. You have the fan jet, the jet-powered Vista Cruiser, which were, I believe, the Convairs based off what I read, and you see some beach aircraft in there as well, and then some other cool stuff in here. And then here's just a sampling here because we didn't get Allegheny, so I'll just kind of find a random city to take a look at. Something that's a little familiar, so I'll find maybe like Chicago or something like that. Let me look for it here. You see here's our comparable stuff with here's Chicago via O'Hare and Midway airports, and you can see the red text there indicates that it's a DC-9 jet, whereas the other ones indicate or the purple text rather indicates the other types, so the Vista Cruisers or the beach aircraft and all that cool stuff. But yeah, you can see there on the bottom, flights shown in red denote Allegheny Jet Custom Class Service. 7 nonstop Jet Custom Class flights from Chicago to Pittsburgh. Only $33 plus tax. That's actually a really good deal. Wish prices were still that way today, but yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with that at this point. Let's go ahead and head to the back of the timetable now because, you know, trying to look at every page of the timetable would take me way too long. Young adults between 12 and 22, why standby? For a little more, you can fly Allegheny and get advanced reservations. Allegheny's young adult plan features savings up to 33.5%, or 33 1/3%, sorry, advanced reservations and no holiday restrictions. Compare Allegheny's young adult advanced registration fares with other airline standby fares, and you can see only about $2 to $3 more, but you do get other additional plans and all that cool stuff. Other money-saving plans as well. We have a lot more going for you, and then there's Allegheny's logo. Groups of 10 or more, you can see all the big savings and all that cool stuff. Love to see that effort there that Allegheny put in. ticket office page right here, and then here's our new nonstop service, another new nonstop service between Boston and Islip, New York. The only way to fly between Boston's Back Bay and Long Island. Now 10 daily nonstop jet props between Boston and Islip. 5 each way each day. One-way fare only, $22 plus tax. 43-minute flight. That's actually really good. I don't know if they still have service between those two cities anymore, so I'll have to look into that. Next up, we're heading back to Braniff territory, introducing 727 Braniff Place. This is dated January between April of 1972. Next up, we have a Braniff International timetable, dated January to April of 1972, introducing 727 Braniff Place. A very cool campaign that they had when they introduced the 727 jets. Now, what I do want to show in here, I have shown this in a previous video. It was in a massive unboxing video, I believe. Somebody has handwritten notes for the timetables in here, so you can see the flight numbers with the aircraft types, the times, and the destinations, all that cool stuff in here. So whoever owned this previously did it on a small slip of paper, and they also did it on a full-size sheet of paper, which was folded up to fit inside the timetable. So there's all that cool stuff. Revisions to existing flights and new flights. It looks like somebody took notes on what flights were changed and what ones were added, which is really, really cool. If I were that much, into reading timetables, I'd definitely compare that with the previous timetable that Braniff issued in late 71. As we continue on, let's take a look at the route map in question, and you can see Sioux Falls, long gone by this point. They discontinued it in 67. And then all their stuff in South America, you can see they've quite expanded on that considerably, and then also all the way over into Hawaii and all that cool stuff. Nice advertisement in here, introducing 727 Braniff Place, a new Superjet address. Only Braniff has it. Very cool stuff to read up here if you want to take a look at that. And then a beautiful flying color 727 coming soon to every Braniff city. It's a personal thing. This is when they introduced the 747 Braniff Place, and they wanted to bring it to their 727s as well to make them just as luxurious. And then all in here you can see there's all jet schedules, and it's all a green color that they have. So obviously Braniff known for their very colorful planes, so I'm guessing with each different timetable they would have had a different color. Because I have some older Braniff timetables as well, and they have different colors too. So I'd assume they continued it through the flying colors era. I'll take a look here at San Antonio, Texas. Why don't we look at that city? I got a good friend of mine, Gemini Jets 1975, who's from there. He's a big Braniff guy, so he may like this stuff right here. You can see the Corpus Christi, Dallas, Fort Worth, all the interstate flights and the fares, all that cool stuff. This is really good information right here, so feel free to pause and take a look at some of these. These are just some samplings, but it's basically kind of like that all across the timetable. And then move into the back, I see some blue, so we do have a different section here on the next page. There's actually an advertisement in here. Let's take a look at that real quick. This winter, summer in South America. Braniff has a tour that's just your style. And they have city style, grand style, town and country style, some really cool stuff. Clip this coupon and mail it today. Probably would not work today. We have some cargo flights in here. You can see between all the way from New York, JFK, to San Antonio, which is very interesting. I don't know too much about that, so I have to ask my good buddy about that one, see what he knows about it. We have some ticket office information here on the last page, and then here's just a little advertisement. New nonstop flights, new departure times, more service when you want to go, and new nonstops both ways between Dallas-Fort Worth and Newark, Dallas-Fort Worth and Denver, new morning nonstop from Kansas City to Dallas-Fort Worth, and new departure times between Washington, D.C. and Dallas-Fort Worth. Moving on, we have a North Central Airlines timetable dated June 7th of 1974. No specific reason why I got this timetable, I just kind of wanted one from the 70s as well. But in here we have a cool route map. So there's all the route maps and everything, all the destinations that they fly to, including Sioux Falls, which was, I don't know if you could call it like a focus city per se, but they do have it in a different, they have a different font weight on it there, and it's kind of bolded in a way compared to some of the other cities. Fly the North Central nonstops, including Sioux Falls to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and you see all the other cities included. So you have like Milwaukee, Rochester, Grand Rapids, of course Minneapolis, Toronto, and Detroit, which is really cool, and you can go all the way to New York by this point. And then in here, they have changed their layout on the timetables. As you can see, they don't list the specific types anymore, but they do list, you know, it's a prop jet, which would be the Convair 580, or the jets, which if I can find one here, there's one right there. This is from, was it Iron Mountain to Green Bay. There's a direct service there on a jet, flight 296. I'll go and find Sioux Falls as well, just kind of show you everything that we got at the time, because I like to look at that stuff. I haven't really taken a look at it too much, but you can see right in here, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you see all the different services. Predominantly we got just the Convairs, but I think there were a couple flights that we got that would have been jets, if I remember correctly. So you see Fargo, Grand Forks, there's a jet right there, but looks like that's a couple of different stops. Up to Minneapolis, and there you go, flight 739, a daily service. Looks like it is in the evening, if I'm not mistaken. Flight 739. As the if the time is bolded, I think that means it's an afternoon. Yep, I'd be correct on that, so just wanted to check that to confirm. And then we have some passenger information. I always like to show this stuff. Again, keep pausing it as you wish if you want to see more specific details and all that cool stuff. So here that is again, if you want to read it. And then we have a cool advertisement on here. Wisconsin to New York, Minnesota to Denver. At a lot of places in between, over 90 Midwestern cities in 13 states and Canada. We also serve delicious hot meals on many flights, even complimentary liquors on some, and feature roomy 2-3 seating on all DC-9 flights at coach fares. So when you're doing business in any one of our cities, remember North Central. And a cool thing, too, I'll just kind of share this information as well because I thought it's pretty cool. I did have a great-great-uncle who flew for them a very, very long time ago. I don't know exactly how long they flew with them for, but they did fly with them when they became Republic and then on into Northwest before they retired. So that's some cool information there. So it is nice to know that I do have that personal connection to this airline, which is quite fascinating. I've grown a strong fascination for it ever since, and that might be part of why. Starting June 8th, Northwest, new way to Europe. One airline service from 42 U.S. and Canadian cities. So this is a, I guess kind of like a, not like a full timetable, this is just like a little pamphlet here. This is one of the free ones I got, by the way. This is from June 9th, 1978, yep, from Northwest Orient, the wide cabin airlines. So there you see all the cool information and everything. Not lots of good stuff in here, and then here's the back side. Feel free to pause, which includes a route map. And we'll continue. Up next, we have a Republic Airlines schedule effective October 26th of 1980. Fly coast to coast on Republic, and the reason why they're able to advertise this is because right at this time they had acquired Hughes Air West, and there you see sort of a really cool neon theme there with the route map, so all the different lines with the various cities, and Sioux Falls is down in there somewhere, they don't have it labeled. I do love the really cool Herman the Duck there that's just embedded in the middle of the country, so joining more of America than any other airline. It was right around this time that they did become one of America's largest carriers, if not the largest carrier. So very cool that they had that position at one point, but it did not really work for them financially as they had to cut a lot of their stuff from Hughes Air West a couple years later, and then they kind of struggled financially for the rest of their existence up until Northwest bought them out. I'll go and show the Sioux Falls stuff because that's what I do. I just need to find it here. There's so many more cities, so this timetable is much thicker than the one from North Central. And if I compare the thickness, actually, I'll do it here in just a moment. And here we go. There's Sioux Falls, and you can see P-Jet, 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 prop jet. Pretty much everything that we have here is just a prop jet, so we weren't really given that much love with the DC-9s by this point, which is kind of unfortunate, but I think we did get them for a time, possibly early on in their existence. But this is even still early on. I don't really see much in the way of jet aircraft, although there is one I did see in there. But yeah, right over there, Las Vegas, but it looks like it's a connection to MSP. And even the stuff to Minneapolis, even though the direct stuff and even the stops, all prop jets. So kind of unfortunate we don't get the DC-9 jets anymore. On the back, there's just some other cool stuff, but there's a really cool VIP thing. Republic can give you same-day small package delivery service, VIP when tomorrow is too late. And then passenger information over here. They do have the 727-200 in there, and you can see the bolded one is the 727, the regular one is the Jet DC-9, prop jet Commodore 580, all that cool stuff. So yeah, they did have the 727s by this point, which I believe they were originally ordered by North Central, but then when they merged with Southern to form Republic, Republic would take over those orders, and they took delivery of them. But yeah, I'll compare the thickness of the timetable so you can see. This is the thickness of the North Central timetable. This is the thickness of the Republic timetable. So you can see a stark difference. I could probably put two North Central timetables and it would barely equal the same thickness with the Republic timetable that I have. We have a Braniff timetable. I believe this is the last one that they ever made, at least for the original Braniff. This is from April 25th of 1982. Texas class, a class above coach in this red or orange color. Very, very nice color right here. There's all the destinations that they had, and you can see it's quite smaller there, at least domestically, but then here's all their international stuff. Did have service to London, a gateway into Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Braniff, the airline with Texas class. So this is from the Ultra era. So that means I now have timetables from all, pretty much all four of their eras, kind of. So you have like the El Dorado era, the Jelly Bean era, the Flying Colors era, and now the Ultra era for the original Braniff. So I'll just show a sampling here for like timetable information. So that's, you can see how that's organized. Leave, arrive, flight, and then their stops there, the operate flight number, stops or via, whatever, and then any sort of meals, if that information is listed. And then there's some USA City ticket information there on the back, and passenger information on the previous page. You can see a couple pages there. Baggage provisions, you know, a lot of boring technicalities and rules and whatever. International cities, South America and Mexico, their ticket offices. And then there's schedule highlight information. So you see there London, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York. Braniff is going your way. And by your way, then yeah, they don't really mean anything good, because about 2.5 to 3 weeks later, they would be bankrupt. So they shut down on May 12th of that same year. So that would have likely been their last timetable that they would print. So a nice piece of history that I have in there, about $10 for me. We have another cool timetable in here, Western Airlines, effective August 1st of 1982, and all their cool stuff there, all the services. This actually came from my good buddy Gemini Jets 1975. I've given plenty of mentions in this video, because this is one of the free timetables that he got. I got a Braniff timetable from January of 82. It was a blue-colored one. So I asked him about it if he wanted it. He said yes, and then he told me he had a Western one, so I was like, yeah, I'll take that. We'll do a trade, and there we go. So got that cool timetable off of him, and he got the one off of me, which is really nice. Open it up, and you get a really cool route map in here. You see there's Sioux Falls, still had service to Minneapolis, and then you have direct to Salt Lake, but also a hop to Pierre, Rapid City, Casper, and then into Salt Lake. Pretty cool stuff. And then the Western Air Force, the new force in the sky. And then over here, you got a cool advertisement. Well, Western Air Force advances to El Paso, Bozeman, and Kalispell. Sample round-trip fares and all that cool stuff. Their new slogan that they had at the time, and it looks like they kind of discontinued their whole only way to fly thing, at least in this particular timetable. I'll go and show Sioux Falls, so flip to that here in just a second, and there it is, and actually it didn't take me too long to find it. And there you go. You can see they don't list aircraft information, unfortunately. I don't know why they didn't list that stuff. It would be very helpful, because I just got a 727 from Gemini Jets with the Western colors, so hopefully I'm able to find out exactly what they flew during this time. But you can see Salt Lake City should be in here. There it is up there. You can see our flight numbers and all that cool stuff. Love to see that information. On the back, you see there's some phone numbers on here. I don't know too much about that. Somebody previously owned this, obviously, so I don't know what the phone numbers lead to. Those phone numbers are probably defunct. Next up, we have a USAir system timetable effective May 1st of 1986. New service to Atlanta and Jacksonville. And then there's some copyright date. Also includes Allegheny commuter service. If we flip open the timetable, you can see Accelerate on the front page there inside the cover. Really cool stuff there for, I think this would have been like their frequent flyer program, one of their first. Earn free flights faster, go even farther. And you can see, get some benefits, where you can get benefits. You see Marriott, British Airways, Hertz, Allegheny Commuter, and then there's like a little redemption thing. The USAir Frequent Traveler Program. So yeah, Frequent Flyer Program is what they're now called today. I'll just kind of flip to a random city here. Let's do Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so you can see how they're scheduled, or how they're structured with the flight schedules and everything. You can see a little S there for the meal, the departure time, arrival time, the flight number, and then any information about its frequency and stops. The C means it's connecting, all that cool stuff. I'll flip all the way to the back. You can see some Allegheny commuter information, ticket office information in there as well, and then some more ticket office stuff. Passenger information on this page. You can see how to read the timetable there if you wish. And then we got a cool little PDQ thing. Delivers it today. What's in a name? Everything. When you're talking about USAir's PDQ service. And yeah, kind of really cool to see that. And then here is the route map in question. So closest we got was Minneapolis. And then there's Allegheny commuter there as well. There's a little closer look at it if you want to see more specific information. I see Syracuse in there, I think. There's Ithaca. Actually, no, there is no Syracuse there. My apologies on that. But there is Ithaca, though. That's pretty close to Syracuse, I would say. Elmira's in there, Corning's in there, and then Binghamton, all those cool places. And then even here in St. Louis, looks like there's a bit of a disconnection there in the network. I don't know why they didn't connect that, but that's just kind of how they did it. USAir and Allegheny commuter, a great team to go with. Service to over 140 cities in the US and Canada. Join the USAir club here on the back as well, just some basic stuff on that. Now this is a really cool timetable here. We have a Delta Airlines system timetable effective April 1st, 1987. Delta and Western, it's more than a merger, it's an all-star team. Delta, the best get better. So this, of course, is the first timetable that Delta would print after their merger with Western Airlines, and I think there's some stuff here in the front cover, so I'll go ahead and take a look at that. Yep, there is. We got ourselves a route map in here, or at least a destination map, not a route map, and you can see Sioux Falls is added in there. Delta flies to over 150 cities across America and overseas. Delta gets you there with care. Turn page for the Delta Connection information. Back when they called it the Delta Connection, they really gave it some importance back then, because I think they just started it right about that time. Delta gets you to over 80 more cities with a little help from our friends like ASA, Business Express, ComAir, and SkyWest. So here's the SkyWest route map. Here's the ComAir route map. Here's Business Express's route map. ASA's route map, and also another ASA route map. This is out of Dallas. So the other one on top was from Atlanta. And again, the Dallas one was because Delta did used to have a hub in Dallas a long time ago, before American became the predominant carrier. They had some issues come up later on. Delta wanted some negotiations to be done. The airport would say no to it. So then Delta was like, all right, we're going to leave. And then DFW cried about it. And then Delta was like, well, you didn't do what we wanted you to. So we're just like, all right, we got to leave. So whatever. Pretty interesting story, though. That's a very short and condensed version of it. Some aircraft details there you can see. We would have gotten something like the 737 in there, the 200, which is right there, the Super 737, 12 first class and 95 coach seats, and then you can see the Royal Service and medallion stuff, miscellaneous symbols, and then also Japan Delta style logo there on the bottom, which is kind of interesting. I'll just notice there's a helicopter service in there. There's a little logo in there that's kind of interesting. And then Sioux Falls is located right in here. So you see there is the reservations, air cargo information, Joe Foss Field, FSD, as it has always been. And then I'll find our Rapid City and Salt Lake City stuff. 1885 and 1881, I believe, are our flight numbers, if I remember correctly. It might be 1887. Just kind of trying to remember all the flight number stuff off the top of my head here. There's Salt Lake City, or no, that's South Bend there, my bad. But yeah, there's not too much there for our section, but there's Salt Lake City. I can't find it here, I'm looking a little weird there. There we go, 1881, 1885, the one stop, so it would have been into Rapid City, that's the direct stuff, and then continue on to Salt Lake. 1881, 1885, they do have a flight info, flight itinerary board on the back, so I'll go ahead and flip to that here. Just on the bottom of this page, so I'll bring the timetable back into view here, and there you can see 1881, 1885, a 73S, the 737-200. Same ship Delta Dash for same-day delivery. Delta takes it there, and you see a beautiful L1011 there on the front. And then here, there's a Delta Airlines logo, calendar, all that cool stuff, postage information. Very, very nice. We'll breeze through this one rather quickly. Hawaiian Airlines flight schedule, September 8th of 1998. Just another little two-sided thing. So you see there from Honolulu to mainland U.S. and South Pacific. There's like a cargo phone number there on the bottom, which probably doesn't work anymore. And then here on the other side, this is just the other way around. See all the flight number information and everything in between. And then our last timetable to round everything out, we do have the America West Airlines timetable, direct flight timetable from September the 5th of 2001. Just what you've been wishing for, an easy way to earn 3,000 bonus miles at americawest.com. Low fares and bonus miles, offers for a limited time only. Flip it open here, we do have some information, how to use the timetable, and then connecting cities, minimum connect miles, whatever, that kind of stuff. Reservation office information, not reservation office information, just reservation information. There you can see this is how the timetable is structured. You can see list the city and then what time zone is in, which is a nice little detail there that America West would add, all that cool stuff. And yeah, don't really include equipment information. They do do distance in there. I just saw the distance. And then we'll go ahead and flip back over here. We do have some other cool information. Super Hub gate connections. You have the Sky Harbor Airport, McCarran Airport, and Port Columbus. All that cool stuff. And then if we flip back here, we do have a route map. So this is all their services at about this time. You can see closest we had was Des Moines and Omaha. America West Express would fly here in 2005 for a very brief time. And there's some more timetables there, so they put it in the middle of the timetable. So America West information, you can see there's all their fleet information. The 757, 737, A319, A320, Air Canada Express with CRJs, ERJs, Beechcraft 1900, de Havilland -8s, all that cool stuff. Some more passenger information. There's some international sales office information. Columbus discovered the world. Here are 3 new reasons to discover Columbus. A new service to, it looks like DFW, Atlanta, and Toronto. It looks like Fort Myers is also listed there. Or actually, no, that's just a black one, so that one would have been there previously. So just DFW, Atlanta, and Toronto are the new services on here. America West, every flight counts. Whew, that was exhausting for me to read, but that is everything that I have for this timetable video for you guys. So quite a lot of timetables to take a look at there. That was about, oh goodness, I don't know, there's at least 15 timetables there, so this is a very long video. But if you did watch through, I thank you so much for sticking with me here with all these timetables and everything. But yeah, these are fun to make every once in a while, not something to do like on a regular basis, but just something to do whenever times are a little slow, or if I just feel like making extra content, because that's what I like to do around here. So, I'll continue to collect these timetables. It's a new hobby for me, and probably not something that I should have done, because that's another expense that I have to worry about on top of these model airplanes, which are getting more expensive by the day. So, with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.